I said it before and I'm gonna say it again. The one of the most toxic lifestyles that a person can get caught up in is the lifestyle of boyfriend and girlfriend. The marriage, the inheriting or passing down generational wealth, that whole setup is dead. Okay, it's dead. Anybody caught being a boyfriend or a girlfriend in this current lifetime is playing with fire. Anybody that wants to lose their life, or anybody that does not want to live a full life, and anybody that does not wish to die by natural causes, increases their chance of dying by the hands of another person with this lifestyle of boyfriend and girlfriend. And it is just a toxic lifestyle. It's a toxic lifestyle. Me, personally, I never subscribed to boyfriend and girlfriend. You know, as a man, I can get married today if I want to. All right. And I stand on that. There's so much talk about relationships, but the people that are talking about relationships are actually hypocrites that subscribe to these lifestyles that are the most toxic and that are that pose the highest threats on humanity. There's a breakdown of families. There's a toxic value system, and there's several lifestyles incorporated in one. There's overlapping lifestyles compiled or compressed in the values of America, and the broads, they lead these lifestyles. We know about feminism. We know about the elemental P community. We know about divorce rates. We know that the dudes and the broads in all of these lifestyles, especially single motherhood, those broads are in the lead of these lifestyles, having children out of wedlock. These lifestyles are toxic. So me, I don't have a dog in these races because I don't participate in none of the lifestyles thereof. All right, I point out these lifestyles because they're all full of shit and full of drama and chaos and unnecessary roughness. These lifestyles are unnecessary, and the people that portray and live and promote these lifestyles of marriage, single motherhood, elemental P community, all right, they're all unnecessary people. The lives of these people are unnecessary. So to see them crash out and, lose their life sooner than later, it's like it deserves a round of applause, and it deserves to be highlighted as an example of what not to be like. Now, I warn my children against these lifestyles. All right. There's all types of crimes that are being committed by these people that live these lifestyles. Like I said, the institution of marriage, based on the values of the West or based on the values of traditional America, is dead. There's all types of, low-class escorting, and the broads are not virgins. They're, too forward. They come, they're too aggressive when it comes to these lifestyles of catching feelings for the wrong people and having children with the wrong people. All of the horror stories come from these lifestyles. Single mothers, a lack of value systems, a lack of virgins, the crime, all right, the jealousy, monogamy. Monogamy, that's another lifestyle. All right, these lifestyles are unnecessary, and the threat level is extremely high when it comes down to monogamy. All right, these broads bringing forth children out of wedlock. All right, America needs to cut the funding for these lifestyles. Whatever benefits that are available to these lifestyles, they need to be canceled. But that's just my opinion. All right, America's not getting any better. I'm not here to promote Make America Great Again or nothing like that, because America needs a factory reset as well. Right? These broads, these lifestyles need to be canceled. That's just me. But like I said, I don't really give a fuck. So, if you don't agree, you don't like my voice, you don't like my tone, you don't like my nationality or my ethnicity, you don't like me pointing these things out, then guess what? I don't give a fuck. All right? You don't like, you don't share, you don't subscribe, so what? I created this channel to speak freely. All right? And these lifestyles are going to be highlighted on my channel because, like I said, I'm not a participant. All right? I warn my sons about these lifestyles and dealing with these broads and and putting them on, bringing their awareness level up when it comes to these lifestyles. All right? The children of these broads and the children of these people will not get my children caught up. Okay? So here we have a boyfriend was ticked at his ex, so he blew away former lover's siblings and their significant others as they peacefully slept in their beds. All right? Now, I don't know who's who, but let's just go here. Well, that's a GoFundMe for all of those people in those photos. There's GoFundMes set up because I guess they were the ones that lost their life to this man. A man infuriated that he got dumped. All right, dumped, and divorces are at an all-time high. And then these people that don't want to let go are ending up on, these police channels. You know what I'm saying? There's all types of cop channels, body cam channels all across the net that depict these crimes, that illustrate these crimes committed by these people that are caught up in these lifestyles. Drugs and alcohol, they play a factor as well. But the highest threat is values and lifestyles. All right, even with marriage. All right, like I said, the whole marriage thing is dead. Right? So I'm gonna just speak on the chaos and the carnage. Right? Because that's all that's gonna be left over here in America is a bunch of bodies. All right? A bunch of bodies. You know what I'm saying? That's all America's doing is catching bodies. A man infuriated that he got dumped by his boyfriend waited outside a California home for the occupants to go to bed. So it's not only that the broads are single mothers and the broads are single mothers and these apps been tripping lately. It's not enough that these broads as single mothers end up in these lifestyles of end up in these elemental P lifestyles and go out there and get them a female simp, all right, that's pretending to be a YN. Because I'm gonna do a video on the dress code of the broads and the little thugs and YNs and how they dress alike. How the broads who want to be the dude with these single mothers that end up dealing with a one of these, I don't know, one of these transformers, but they always have children. They was with men at one point, had children, then they went on ahead and found them another broad to be with. So I'm gonna get into the dress code because they dress alike. The transformers dress like the ratchet broads, and then the little crash out dudes, their dress code is for the broads who want to be the dudes with these single mothers who don't like men no more, and then they go out and get one of these female simps that dress like the dudes, the crash out dudes, tight jeans. I'm gonna get into that at a later video. But like I said, let's keep talking about this lifestyle. All right, just a flock of flunkies, a flock of failure. Bunch of polluted, corrupt individuals, man, that don't know how to control their emotions and don't know how to call it a quits. They don't know how to walk away. It says, it said, and waited outside a California home for the occupants to go to bed. Once they did, he went inside and shot 4 people dead as they peacefully slept in their beds. But none of them were his ex-boyfriend. Damn. Instead, Miguel Diego Sandoval, now 21, killed the ex's siblings, John V. Maquindang, 21, and Christine Aka 25, along with their significant others, Edwin Garcia, 24, and Matthew Montebello, 21. He then set the home on fire, killing 3 dogs inside. So this dude was on a jealous rage, an emotional roller coaster. See, and this is there's no, these people's elevators don't go all the way up to the top. These lifestyles are full of unstable people. All right. They don't know when to stop. You know what I'm saying? They run red lights. You know what I'm saying? It says Sandoval on Thursday pleaded guilty to 4 counts of first-degree murder with the special circumstances, with special circumstance allegations of multiple murders and murder by means of lying in wait. According to the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office, he also pleaded guilty to 1 count each of attempted murder, first-degree residential burglary, and arson of an inhabited structure or property, 3 felony counts of animal cruelty, and 2 counts of child abuse under circumstances or conditions likely to cause great bodily injury or death. A judge will sentence him to life in prison on November 17th. All right. See, it says, love true crime. Sign up for our newsletter, The Law and Crime Docket. And that's it. And that's what they end up in. These lifestyles, they end up crashing out on each other and crashing out on the people around the person that they really want to get at. All of these people All right, it says the defendant was jilted when he broke up with his boyfriend and then did something unimaginable when he killed 4 innocent people, and said Los Angeles County District Attorney. This was a calculated act of violence that left a void for the victim's family that can never be filled. Rest assured, this guilty plea will result in a lifetime prison sentence. All right, it says according to prosecutor Sandoval, around 1:30 a.m. on November 16th, 2024, broke into the victim's residence in 444 500 block of North Tabler Avenue in Lancaster, a city in northern Los Angeles County, where all 4 of the victims were asleep. Once inside, Sandoval fatally shot each of them. The lone survivor, a 16-year-old girl, locked herself in a bedroom and called 911. Deputies rescued her from the burning house. Sandoval's ex, Dylan McQuindang, spoke after Sandoval pleaded guilty, because he wasn't even in the house. His ex-lover wasn't even there. Says, "You changed my life in ways I never asked for, but you did not take away my ability to live, to love, and to find happiness again," Dylan said. According to a courtroom report from the Los Angeles Times, "I hate that I'm giving you this much of my energy today. My family deserves to be remembered for who they were, not how they died." The teen girl who survived called Sandoval a coward. "You're too pathetic to deal with your own emotions that you had to plan something as miserable as this," she admonished, per the Times. Yeah, let's go down to what else was said. Aka Ak was described as a loving sister and a funny, vibrant, and deeply caring friend. And that's another lifestyle, the lifestyle of friendships. That's another lifestyle. All right, another toxic lifestyle, friends. All right, friends, right? Add that to the lifestyles that I listed in the beginning. Single motherhood, elemental P, right? Marriage, right? Because marriage is a lifestyle now. No one, America's marriage rate is not as high as the divorce rate. So marriage is a lifestyle. People get together, people break up, right? And that's what people do in America, or wherever these people are, wherever these values are. This is a lifestyle. All right? People crash out on each other. That's just what people do, right? These lifestyles are just for fun. All right? They're not for keeps. These individuals that live these lifestyles of marriage and dating, right? Single motherhood, they don't play for keeps. The divorce rate, all right, the breakup rate is higher than the getting together rate. It says Christine was a source of strength for everyone around her, especially for our younger siblings. The GoFundMe description said, as their legal guardian, she was devoted to raising them in loving, stable homes. Single motherhood's a lifestyle, dating a lifestyle, all these are lifestyles. All right, these lifestyles are going to be the death of a lot of people. All right. See, John V was an incredible listener, always there when someone needed to talk things through. His kindness, intelligence, and sense of humor left a lasting impact on everyone who knew him, the fundraiser stated. Garcia wanted to be an educator. There are no words to describe just how wonderful he was as a brother, but nobody's innocent. All right? Nobody's innocent, not even the ones, nobody involved is innocent. Nobody, because these lifestyles, the boyfriend that survived, he's not innocent. You know what I'm saying? That's why his loved ones was his portion of pain. All right? Even though he feel like he can live on and love again, that lifestyle is toxic and it's unnecessary. All right? He always was eager to learn, and whenever he set his mind on learning something or picking up a skill, he would relentlessly obsess over it for months at a time until he either mastered it or at least got familiar with it enough to get bored and move on to the next phase, his sister wrote. All right. The post-boyfriend was ticked at his ex, so he blew away former lovers' siblings and their significant others as they peacefully slept in their beds. First appeared on Law and Crime. So again, these lifestyles are unnecessary. All right? And the people that live them are unnecessary, man. All right? But yeah, man, these lifestyles are going to be the death of a lot of people. Like I said, man, toxic values toxic values, toxic viewpoints, toxic, a lack of understanding. The elevators don't go up to the top with these people. Boyfriends and girlfriends, single motherhood, dating, marriage, all of these lifestyles are toxic, and the outcomes is bad breakups, all right? Even people losing their life, monogamy, all of it, all right? These lifestyles are going to be the death of many. You know what I'm saying? And watch, it's not going to get no better over here. I warn my children about these lifestyles. If a broad want to be your girlfriend, leave her alone, cut her off. Stop dealing with her. You know what I'm saying? If a broad just want to be a serial dater, leave her alone, man. These broads are not virgins. They don't value commitment and relationships. It's not worth the risk. The juice is not worth the squeeze. Dealing with these people that promote these lifestyles. You know what never gets old with these lifestyles? Not being with someone. You know what I mean? There's no boundaries. It's a lack of boundaries and a lack of respect. Why do you think the outcome is so violent? You know what I'm saying? These are extremists. You know what I'm saying? It's another form of extremism. These lifestyles. You know what I'm saying? Whoever don't like my voice, whoever don't like my channel, whoever don't like my opinion or my thoughts rather, these are my thoughts. Whoever don't like my thoughts, whoever don't like my tone, whoever don't like my ethnicity, you know what I mean? You don't like the sound of my voice and stuff like that. Just remember, you don't have to be on this channel. And most of all, I don't give a fuck. Somebody needs to hear this because there's a lot of damage coming out of these lifestyles. The threat level is extremely high with these lifestyles. Marriage, single motherhood, the elemental P communities, all right, monogamy, dating, you know what I'm saying? And then you throw drugs and alcohol in there, and look, you're looking at a can of worms. It's like, you know what I'm saying? You're looking at a powder keg. And these relationships, you know, where these fake relationships, because they're not relationships, friendships, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna end up in the red. Look at all the horror stories that come out of these lifestyles, friendships, serial dating, marriage, single motherhood, especially monogamy. Monogamy is one of the highest threat. Monogamy has one of the highest threat levels. That whole being faithful thing is dead. People like other people, and other people like other people. Just face it. You know what I'm saying? You can't talk to this person. People trying to, put gag orders on relationships. You can't talk to this person. You can't get to know this person. People jealous and da-da-da-da. Man, this is not the end of this. Look at how many more is going to come after this. All right. It's August 17th, 2026. And watch how many more crash outs and bad outcomes and violent outcomes and bad breakups and divorces. Watch how many more come after this. America's not getting any better. It's over for this place. You mark my words. It's over for this place. America's not getting any better. If you single, stay single. If you married, stay married. If you happily married, then yeah, stay married. But if you not married, don't get married. If you don't have no friends, don't even worry about making no friends. These dudes, these relationships are violent, problematic. The threat level's too high. These lifestyles, rather, because I don't even call them relationships. These lifestyles are too violent. The threat level. All right, not to mention all these STDs that are floating around from all of these encounters with all of these corrupt individuals. This place is polluted. So yeah, like, share, subscribe. You know what I'm saying? If you don't, then I don't give a fuck. This stuff is actually going on. I'm not talking about nothing. I'm not putting something there that's not already there. You know what I'm saying? Peace out.